Hola, buenos dias, and thank you for finding me here at my YouTube channel, Benidorm and Beyond. I'd like to give you all a very warm welcome to my original and long-standing series of vlogs entitled Benidorm Breakfast, the Original Tostada Tour, which gives you a whirlwind excursion around 5 coffee shops, bars or bakeries that I have tried in the last month or so for my favourite Spanish brekkie of coffee served with toasted baguette topped with tomato. Although I've lived here in the resort of Benidorm for over 20 years, there is still always somewhere new to discover, to eat and drink, and with this vlog I aim to give a genuine feel for each venue and an honest review, along with the price I paid and a short look around the premises. My very favourite way to start the day when I can is with a piping hot white coffee, or café con leche, accompanied by a tostada con tomate. This is usually served as half a toasted baguette, topped with freshly grated tomato, extra virgin olive oil and sea salt, but as you will see, there are many variations on presentation, style and substance. It's generally served right up until midday or even just after, so why not join me on this mouth-watering tour and check out this month's top spots. So let's get started on tour number 16. Our first stop takes us to the indoor market, or Merkeloix, which is situated in the Rincon de Loix area. We enter via the main entrance on the corner junctions of Calle Girona, or the Strip, and Avenida Ametlla de Mar. Once inside, you'll find a butcher shop in front of you. From there, turn right, passing the lingerie and tablecloth stall, and then on your immediate left is the cafe bar Casa Feli, where we are visiting today. This family-run cafe is set out just like a traditional tapas bar, with a wooden bar with stools pulled up to it for people to pull up a seat and grab a quick coffee or beer. Inside there is a small amount of seating, either at the tables and chairs or at the banquette-style bench seating, with each table set with a wiped-down plastic tablecloth for practicality. Fresh tapas and the day's specials are displayed in the glass cabinet at the front of the premises, and these include homemade tortilla, although I have to say this was the flattest one I'd ever seen, paella, which can be taken away for €6 a portion, or maybe a torrija, which is a traditional sweet treat and a bit like a cross between French toast and bread and butter pudding. On the menu there is a selection of breakfast items, including a cooked English breakfast, as well as toasties, burgers, baguettes and soft baps, and a range of main meals too, including pork loin, half chicken, sirloin steak and cod. The kitchen is open from 8:30 AM until 5 PM daily, apart from a Sunday when indeed the whole market is shut as a day of rest for the vendors. After a quick scan of the menu, I decided to order my usual tostada and coffee, but with the addition of delicious cured ham, or jamon serrano, as I was feeling particularly savoury that day. My large hot coffee arrived a few minutes later, and the table was laid up with paper placemats and cutlery, with a bottle of olive oil and a salt cellar also provided. While I enjoyed the hubbub and the large photo mural of Benidorm on the wall, my tostada when it arrived came as 2 pieces of toasted baguette, liberally spread with tomato pulp and with a generous portion of buttery cured ham on each one, which I actually found extremely filling and in fact would have been more than sufficient to share with my breakfast companion. I paid at the bar upon leaving and was charged €1.70 for my delicious good-sized coffee and €4 for my tostada, which, although a bit more than you may expect to pay, did include the addition of the jamon serrano too, which is not particularly a budget choice, but nonetheless extremely tasty and very much enjoyed. All in all, at €5.70 for the tasty twosome, I would visit again, but maybe more for a brunch treat than a brekkie, or maybe I would learn from the experience and only order 1 tostada between 2. Our second stop takes us along to the busy thoroughfare of the Avenida del Mediterraneo in the Newtown area, where we find the Italian restaurant Molta Pasta, just a couple of minutes walk away from the beachfront and Tiki Beach Bar. Here on their L-shaped corner terrace you can choose to dine out in the lovely sunshine or inside in the semi-covered restaurant for a more restful and shaded brekkie. Bucket deals are available from as little as 5 bottles of beer for €10, along with a selection of flavoured milkshakes, jugs of agua de Valencia, which is similar to sangria but made with cava instead, and also a range of cocktails and quality spirits. There are large LED screens on their exterior terraces to show live sports, and they even say that if what you are looking for is not advertised on the blackboards, then just ask them and they'll see if they can show it for you. How's that for service? What caught my eye recently, however, is that they are now advertising tostadas for breakfast, with the usual simple toppings of olive oil, tomato, butter or jam available, or for that touch of luxury and during the changes, why not add avocado or cream cheese and smoked salmon or cured serrano ham? With this offer being served between 11 AM and 1 PM daily, I settled down just after midday and opted for my usual coffee and tostada con tomate, and I was served within just a minute or two by the friendly waiter. My white coffee when it arrived was on the small side, but hot and with a frothy top, and while I waited for my breakfast I took some footage of the interior restaurant, which is simply but effectively laid with colourful placemats and cutlery ready for the lunchtime and evening services. The toilets in the corner are large for most restaurants in Spain, with 2 cubicles each for men and women and decorated with beautiful blue and white tiles on the walls. There is a variety of Italian fare available on the menu, with pizzas, pastas and salads all on offer, as well as a menu of the day priced at €13.95 per person. There is also occasional live music at weekends from midday until 2 PM to attract any early diners, or of course anyone just wishing to sit on their sunny terrace and enjoy a spot of people watching, surely everyone's favourite pastime, whether on holiday or not. My tostada when delivered was long, thin and well toasted, and came served on a black slate with condiments brought to the table in a cute basket. The white dish of tomato mixture included oil and herbs and was quite the tastiest and freshest mix I've had in a while. Whether this was because of the quality of the olive oil or because of the herby addition, I couldn't quite say, but it absolutely zinged and elevated my tostada from a simple piece of toasted bread to another delicious level. With music pumping out from speakers up above and a very chilled mid-morning feel, my delicious duo of coffee and tostada for just €3 was well worth the money, and with Thursday being the day for pasta promotions, why not give it a try as you head away from the beach one day? Our third stop takes us over to the Folletes area of town, where you can find hotels, health clinics and of course the beautiful Poniente Beach and Promenade. On the corner junction of Avenida de Ricardo Bayona and Avenida Panama, where the 4-star Mercure Hotel is situated, we find Restaurante Esturion. Open daily from 8 AM, it's a typical Spanish tapas bar where you can enjoy a drink and snack, but there are also plenty of tables and chairs to enjoy a full meal at, including stools pulled up at the bar and even a separate dining salon, complete with blue and white tiles and a large photo wall of Peacock Island and the Mirador overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. You can enter from either road that it's situated on, via a few steps down into the premises or an access ramp. There is a covered exterior terrace where you can eat al fresco, and from here you can order at the bar via the service window or head inside to one of the seated areas. The bar's many food deals are advertised on blackboards outside, and these include a menu of the day for €14, a baguette served with olives, a cold drink and coffee for €6.50, or how about their special Saturday offer which gives you a taste of Madrid, with their special cocido madrileño, which is a rich and traditional chickpea-based stew with lots of meat and vegetables in it, served with bread and dessert for €18 per person. I sat inside on the day I visited, and my order was taken by the busy barman cum waiter within just a minute or so. Although various pastries or tostadas with accompanying freshly squeezed juice were available, I chose my usual combo, and my coffee was brought promptly, which was nice and large, with hot milk poured into the cup at the table, as is the most professional way to be served. The dining area is a mix of wood features, blue and orange tablecloths and photo murals of old Benidorm, and has a relaxed feel with music in the background and locals chatting away. If something more upbeat is your thing, however, then the restaurant holds live music and dancing daily from 4:30 PM until 8 in the evening, which is very popular indeed, and I believe that the place gets packed, so head there early if you fancy a look. While I waited for my tostada, I browsed the menu, which was in both Spanish and English. Here you can find a traditional mixed paella for €13.75 per person, sardinas a la plancha or grilled sardines for €6.50, platters of small fried fish for €13.90, along with many other vegan, meat and seafood based delicacies. Their young team is also on hand should you wish to book a celebration, and anything from a birthday party to a hen do or communion can be catered for in this large and airy space. My tostada when it arrived was half a rustic style baguette and came already topped with coarsely grated tomato pulp with a condiment stand brought over for me. Although slightly burnt around the edges, as is easily done, it was nevertheless very tasty, especially once it had been anointed with a liberal drizzling of quality olive oil and plenty of salt to bring out the flavour of the tomatoes. The pleasant pairing of both coffee and tostada came to €3.45, so it's somewhere I would happily try again if in the area. Or maybe even next time I would opt for a bit of tasty tapas and a cold beer instead. Our fourth stop takes us to the cusp of the Old Town and to the 4-star Bristol Hotel, which is located in Plather Dr. Fleming that sits just by the modern Town Hall buildings and the Aguera Park. Here, outside their semicircular building, they have a large open-air terrace which non-residents of the hotel are of course more than welcome to use. There is also an interior cafe bar where the waiters will come out from to serve you, and this appears to double up as a small nighttime entertainment area for guests of the hotel. I stopped here on this particular morning whilst out and about filming the recent Fallas Fiestas, which brought huge, playful, vibrant statues to the town, which were then burnt to the ground on the last evening of the celebration. And I decided that this bustling area would be a great spot to watch the local activities from and enjoy a comfortable rest on their low, squashy sofas. Understandably, I waited a few minutes for my order to be taken, as the waiter had to spot me first from inside and then come out to serve me. And I soon had a hot cup of coffee in front of me, along with a white china dish of tomato mixture ready to spread on my tostada when it came. Toilets can be found inside, just to the right of the reception desk, and I found the hotel, which is currently ranked 97th out of 196 hotels in Benidorm on TripAdvisor, had a classy, understated and unhurried feel about it. It sits directly opposite Benidorm's central library, a bingo hall and also a local bus stop, which now has an LED signpost in front of it to tell you what number bus is coming next and how long it will be before it arrives. My tostada was presented as half a thick, well-toasted baguette and came with individual oil and salt sachets, along with a serviette and knife to cut it in half with, which I always appreciate, as otherwise it can be a bit unwieldy. The bill, which came to €3.80, was charged at €1.80 for the tostada and €2 for the coffee, and was brought to my table with my breakfast, as is often the way in hotel bars, making it easier to pay the bill when you want to and not end up endlessly trying to flag down a waiter, as is often the way when they are understaffed, which is now often the case post-pandemic. I thoroughly enjoyed my yummy double act and found this setting a great place to sit and chill out in, so I will totally be returning again when passing this way, which is actually quite often when I'm on my vlogging travels. Our fifth and final stop takes us into the very heart of the Old Town, where on the corner of Carrer Maraval and Calle de los Tulipanes we find the bar and restaurant Los Molinos, or the Windmills. Situated in very much a residential and Spanish-orientated hotel zone, this local bar boasts a long L-shaped terrace with plastic walls pulled down on the day I visited to keep off any passing breezes, and this tapas bar and restaurant mixes the traditional with more than a touch of the modern too. Menus are placed on every table, so it's easy to pick what you fancy, and there are also brightly coloured advertising boards on the walls, all with prices clearly displayed. Here you can choose a delicious menu of the day for €13 per person, or maybe opt for one of their many platos combinados, or main meals, which include such favourites as spare ribs, grilled chicken breast, pork chops, pizzas, burgers, hake and salmon. There is a cosy interior where you can grab a stool at the bar or sit at the traditional wooden tables and chairs, with the small toilets to be found tucked away in the corner. There is a serving hatch facing the exterior terrace should you be in a rush to grab attention and order or pay, but as always I waited patiently until I was served at my table and ordered with a member of staff on duty. My smallish white coffee was hot and very strong, and my tostada very long and thin and super crispy. So much so that when I first bit into it I spread a multitude of small crumbs all over the table and also into my lap. The toasted baguette was already spread with an almost paste-like tomato mixture, and this definitely benefited from the addition of olive oil, which, being in a Spanish restaurant, as usual was excellent quality, to bring some taste to the otherwise quite bland offering. My breakfast companion opted for a bacon and cheese baguette, or bocadillo de queso y bacon, instead, and this came with plenty of filling, albeit very simply presented. A coffee and tostada deal was advertised on the menu at the price of €2.80, but when I went in to request the bill, I was charged separately for each item at $1.50 for the coffee and $1.80 for the tostada, making a total of €3.30. As the difference was only 50 cents and I wasn't sure what times the breakfast deal encompassed, I was happy enough with that. And just for info, the half a lager was $1.70 and the bacon and cheese baguette $4.50, and very filling indeed. Although not the absolute epitome of a top tostada con tomate, it was still a very tasty twosome, and Los Molinos is certainly a handy spot if you are staying locally, either in the holiday apartments Caballito de Mar opposite, or one of the many hotels located nearby in Plaza de España and the surrounding streets. This final review brings us to the end of this 16th edition of my Benidorm Breakfast, the original Tostada tour, and I really hope you enjoyed it with me and it's given you a few new ideas of where to stop for a light bite in the morning when you're next here on your holidays. If you did like the video, please consider joining me again in the future, as well as checking out some of my other videos full of information, street and beachfront walks, as well as news and reviews on local hotels, cafes and bars. Also, feel free to drop me a line in the comments section if there is something or somewhere that you would particularly like me to include in the future, and as always, I'll see what I can do. I'll see you out and about next time, maybe for a coffee and tostada, and thanks so much for watching as always. Bye for now, adios, ciao, and catch you again soon. Cheers!